Genesis chapter 24. And Abraham was old and advanced in age. And Jehovah had blessed Abraham in all things. And Abraham said to his servant, the oldest of his house, who ruled over all that he had, put your hand under my thigh. And I will make you swear by Jehovah, the God of heaven and the God of earth, that you will not take a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanites, among whom I am dwelling. But you shall go to my country and to my relatives, and take a wife for my son Isaac. And the servant said to him, perhaps the woman will not be willing to follow me to this land. Must I then take your son back to the land from where you came? And Abraham said to him, be certain not to take my son back there. Jehovah, the God of heaven, who took me from my father's house and from the land of my birth, and who spoke to me, and who swore to me, saying, to your seed I will give this land, he will send his angel before you, and you shall take a wife for my son from there. And if the woman is not willing to follow you, you shall be free from this oath of mine, only you shall not take my son back there. So the servant put his hand under the thigh of Abraham his master, and swore to him concerning this matter. And the servant took 10 camels from the camels of his master, and departed, having all kinds of his master's good things in his hand. And he rose up and went to Aram Naharaim, to the city of Naar. And he made the camels kneel down outside the city by the well of water at the time of evening, at the time when women go out to draw water. And he said, O Jehovah, the God of my master Abraham, please grant me success today, and show loving kindness to my master Abraham. I am standing here by the spring of water as the daughters of the men of the city are coming out to draw water. And may it be that the girl to whom I say, please let down your pitcher that I may drink, and who says, drink, and I will also give your camels a drink, may she be the one whom you have appointed for your servant, for Isaac, and in this I will know that you have shown kindness to my master. But before he had finished speaking, there was Rebekah, who was born to Bethuel the son of Milcah, the wife of Nahor, Abraham's brother, coming out with her pitcher upon her shoulder. And the girl was very beautiful in appearance, a virgin, and no man had known her. And she went down to the spring, and filled her pitcher, and came up. And the servant ran to meet her, and said, please let me sip a little water from your pitcher. And she said, drink, my lord. And she hurried and lowered her pitcher on her hand, and gave him a drink. And when she had finished giving him a drink, she said, I will draw water for your camels also, until they have finished drinking. And she hurried and emptied her pitcher into the trough, and ran again to the well to draw water, and she drew it for all his camels. And the man gazed fixedly upon her in silence to know whether Jehovah had made his journey prosperous or not. And when the camels had finished drinking, the man took a golden nose ring weighing 1/2 shekel, and 2 bracelets for her hands weighing 10 gold shekels, and said, whose daughter are you? Please tell me, is there room in your father's house for us to lodge in? And she said to him, I am the daughter of Bethuel the son of Milcah, whom she bore to Nahor. She also said to him, we have plenty of straw and fodder, and also a place to lodge. And the man bowed and worshipped Jehovah. And he said, blessed be Jehovah, the God of my master Abraham, who has not forsaken his loving kindness and his faithfulness toward my master. As for me, Jehovah has led me in the way to the house of my master's brothers. And the girl ran and told her mother's house about these things. And Rebekah had a brother whose name was Laban, and Laban ran out to the man, to the spring. As soon as he had seen the nose ring and the bracelets upon his sister's hands, and had heard the words of Rebekah his sister, saying, this is what the man spoke to me, he went to the man. And there he was, standing by the camels at the spring. And he said, come in, O blessed of Jehovah. Why do you stand outside when I have prepared the house and a place for the camels? And the man came into the house, and Laban unloaded the camels. And he gave straw and fodder to the camels and water to wash his feet and the feet of the men who were with him. And food was set before him to eat. But he said, I will not eat until I have stated my business. And he said, Speak on. And he said, I am Abraham's servant. And Jehovah has blessed my master greatly, and he has become great. And he has given him flocks and herds, and silver and gold, and male servants and female servants, and camels and donkeys. And Sarah my master's wife bore a son to my master after she had become old. And he has given all that he has to him. And my master made me swear, saying, You shall not take a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanites, in whose land I dwell. But you shall go to my father's house and to my family, and take a wife for my son. And I said to my master, Perhaps the woman will not follow me. And he said to me, Jehovah, before whom I walk, will send his angel with you and make your journey prosperous. And you shall take a wife for my son from my family, even from my father's house. Then you will be free from my oath, when you come to my family, and if they do not give her to you, you will be free from my oath. And I came today to the spring and said, O Jehovah, the God of my master Abraham, if now you will only make my journey on which I go prosperous. I am standing here by the spring of water, and may it be that the maiden who comes out to draw water, to whom I will say, Please give me a little water from your pitcher to drink. And she will say to me, Drink, and I will also draw water for your camels. May she be the woman whom Jehovah has appointed for my master's son. Before I had finished speaking in my heart, there came Rebekah, and her pitcher was on her shoulder. And she went down to the spring and drew water. And I said to her, Please let me drink. And she hurried and let down her pitcher from her shoulder and said, Drink, and I will also give your camels a drink. So I drank, and she also gave the camels a drink. And I asked her and said, Whose daughter are you? And she said, The daughter of Bethuel, Naor's son, whom Milcah bore to him. And I put the nose ring upon her nose, and the bracelets upon her hands. And I bowed and worshipped Jehovah and blessed Jehovah, the God of my master Abraham, who had led me in the right way to take the daughter of my master's brother for his son. And now if you will deal kindly and truly with my master, tell me so, but if not, tell me so, that I may turn to the right hand or to the left. Then Laban and Bethuel answered and said, The matter comes from Jehovah, we cannot speak to you bad or good. Here is Rebekah before you, take her, and go, and let her be the wife of your master's son, as Jehovah has spoken. And when Abraham's servant heard their words, he bowed down to the earth to Jehovah. And the servant brought forth silver jewelry and gold jewelry and clothing and gave them to Rebekah. He also gave precious things to her brother and to her mother. And they ate and drank, he and the men who were with him, and spent the night. And they rose up in the morning, and he said, Send me away to my master. And her brother and her mother said, Let the girl stay with us a few days, 10 or so, after that she may go. And he said to them, Do not delay me, since Jehovah has made my journey prosperous. Send me away that I may go to my master. And they said, Let us call the girl and ask her. And they called Rebekah and said to her, Will you go with this man? And she said, I will go. So they sent away Rebekah their sister and her nurse and Abraham's servant and his men. And they blessed Rebekah and said to her, May you, our sister, become thousands of 10,000s. And may your seed possess the gate of those who hate them. And Rebekah arose with her maids, and they rode on the camels and followed the man. And the servant took Rebekah and went away. Now Isaac had come from going to Beer-lahai-roi, for he was dwelling in the region of the Negev. And Isaac went out to meditate in the field toward evening. And he lifted up his eyes, and looked, and behold, camels were coming. And Rebekah lifted up her eyes, and when she saw Isaac, she sprang off the camel. And she said to the servant, Who is this man who is walking in the field to meet us? And the servant said, It is my master. And she took her veil and covered herself. And the servant told Isaac all the things that he had done. And Isaac brought her into the tent of Sarah his mother. And he took Rebekah, and she became his wife, and he loved her. And Isaac was comforted after the death of his mother.